Today I share with you my personal top 5 investing tips. We will do the usual gold, silver, Bitcoin analysis as well, and maybe a chart request if we get time. I also want to hear what your personal investment tips are as well. Head into the live chat. Now, if you're watching this on the replay, use the time codes below to go to your favorite part. But if you're watching live, you get to enjoy every single thing we do here at Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. But in the first 1 minute of the show, what we do here is the synchronized slurp. That's where you grab a tasty beverage. I grab my tasty beverage. It's right here. Where is yours? It has to be in your hand, and we slurp it synchronously. It's the communal way of bonding together before we get into the meat of the show. So whatever you're drinking, please grab your tasty beverage and let's slurp it synchronously together on the count of 3. 3, 2, 1. Slurp it, people. Great to see a lot of you here. My name is Joe Main. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy who worked in the precious metals retail industry, so the bullion dealer industry for 11 years. Over 3 major bullion dealers, Goldstackers, Bullion Now. As you know, I launched and grew Bullion Now's YouTube channel to a lot of subscribers. And then I worked for Ainslie Bullion as well. Now I do this week daily live show. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. You get a warm and fuzzy feeling when you do. We're the winning team, 834 subscribers as of right now. We're going live out on YouTube. We're also going live out on X as well. Follow me on X at Joe in General. One word, Joe in General. I'll share that in a second. And of course, the show is brought to you by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. You may or may not, you will, hear a little bit more from them sometime in the show. But we do the shout outs and then we start talking turkey, people. Mark Florida says GMS. Great to see you, Mark, as always. Knackers O'Reilly, another beautiful day in Melbourne. Yeah, it's a little overcast where I am. The sun is it hasn't decided whether it's going to peek through and blind me or be nice and diffuse. I really like the diffuse light. That's preferable. Lance, as always, Lance gives me some kind of good morning in a different language and I have to guess what it is. Yeah, that's going to be some kind of Middle Eastern language. Let's go with that. No idea what it is. You'll tell me in just a second. Appreciate that, Lance. Pete Repeat says GMS. It's great to see Pete Repeat. Of course, head over to what am I saying? I was going to say head over to. What am I saying? Chris Phipps, GMS from PDX in Portland. I am going to adjust this light because it is just screwing with me today. And that's live. Great to see so many people watching so soon. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Navajo. I would never have guessed that. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's you threw a curveball at me. Wow, there you go. Fantastic. Shall we do anything else? Shall we wait for a few more people? I think I'm going to wait for just a few more people before we do it. So actually what I'm going to do right now, just to get it out of the way, because we want a few more people watching at the start, I'm going to quickly talk about my brand partners, Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. If they're not part of your circle of bullion dealers that you buy from within Australia, they really need to be. Why? Great prices, great range, but free shipping. Only dealer in Australia to offer free shipping when you buy over a certain amount. How much is that amount, you ask? Thanks for asking. 20 or more items. So it can be 20 very cheap items, or it could be 20 expensive items, or it could be a combination of anything, combination of gold, silver, platinum, whatever. As long as you have 20 or more items in your order in total, mixing, matching of whatever, instant free shipping Australia-wide, sign-on delivery, fully insured, express, all the good stuff that you would normally get from other bullion dealers, except you're not paying for it because you bought over a certain amount. All the big boys in the States and probably other places in the world offer that free shipping thing. Australia never done it, never could, never would, until now. Ricky from Perth Bullion Exchange, who started the bullion dealership in May. Really just wanted to offer that extra something. They also happen to buy back at spot price, like only one other business does, or maybe there's 2 now. So just one of just a few. just absolutely kicking goals. Okay, so head over to perthbullion.com.au. It's well worth it. And Wealthstack, wealthstack.com. This is great for people who are open to unallocated programs. Australian owned, Australian regulated. It's an unallocated gold program. They will be doing silver and they will be doing platinum and a bunch of other things. Just gold for now, spot plus 1% to buy gold. No storage fees, no transfer fees, 100% backed by real physical gold, held by one of the largest gold wholesalers and storage facilities in the world. They are LBMA registered, or again, all that good stuff that you would want. So if this isn't for you, that's okay, because you're a stacker. You only like to stack the physical in your hands at all times. I get it. Send this to your normie friends who you've been trying to convince, your friends and family, trying to convince to get into precious metals. They don't want to do it your way. That's okay. Get them to do it the Wealthstack way, okay? Get them to download the app on iPhone or Android. You're buying gold through your phone. That's what you basically tell them. Hey, you don't want to do my thing? Just buy gold through your phone. Go to wealthstack.com, get them to download the app, iPhone or Android, get them to check it out. It's really great, okay? I highly recommend that you do. Let's go straight back and any more shout outs, and then we shall talk about our topic of the day. Gerald Draper is here as well. GMS, it is great to see you. All right, people, let's talk about it. Let's talk about my personal top 5 investing tips. Let me give all the caveats to start. I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I do. And also, this is probably some large general stuff that you probably already know. Maybe you utilize some of this stuff already. Maybe there might be some surprises. I don't know. But also, it's not a bad idea just to have a self-refresher, a bit of a refresher to go, oh yeah, I've got to keep this stuff in the back of my mind. Well, look, more forward in my mind rather than the very back of my mind, because, you know, we can get busy with our daily lives and all that kind of stuff. So you just want to keep on top of it, okay? Here are some big things, and I want to get your comments below. I want you to tell me what your top investing tips are as well. So I'm going to start with number 1, and I won't share the screen. I'll just read these off because I have just written them down pretty quickly, and we'll talk about them. Number 1, of course, we're talking about investing. Okay, so what am I talking about? Like investing, not trading. Okay, so we're talking about investing, not trading. I am not a trader. I should never be trying to be a trader. There are times where I've tried to be a trader and it's worked for a bit and then it hasn't worked. Being an investor for me definitely seems like the better way to go. So, number 1, if you're going to invest, just invest. That's your top number 1 tip. If you want to invest, just invest. Do not trade in and out of things. You might get lucky if you're in crypto and you're trading lots of meme coins and this, and you're making multiple trades a day. You're a trader. You're not an investor. Okay? These are just investing tips. Do not trade. Do not overtrade. As an investor, you should probably be buying and making transactions really just a few times in a year, really, or a few times in the particular cycle. Of course, as a silver investor, you've got to dollar cost average. That's probably the best way to do it. So in that way, but as a silver investor, you're not trading in and out of silver every day unless you're doing paper contracts. Okay, well then you're a trader, not an investor. We're talking about investing. So top tip number 1, as I said, investing is for invest if you're an investor. Okay, don't trade. It is the quickest way to go broke. It's the quickest way to lose all your money. So that's the top number 1 tip. Invest, don't trade. Get it? Got it? Good. I don't think I really need to say much more about that. Number 2. Okay, let's talk about diversification. Diversifying is good, but you don't want to do too much of it. So you do not want to spread your risk all around. You don't want to put you don't want to spread it too thin. Okay, so for example, if you're investing in something, pick a sector, pick maybe 1 or 2 sectors that you think are complementary to each other. So for example, if you are really into stocks, and you thought that stocks were going to just shoot through the moon, and for some reason, if you thought, now we disagree, but some people think that investing in stocks over the next 10 years would have an amazing return, then just stick with stocks. You might want to pair it with something like real estate if you have the potential to do that. Stocks and real estate tend to track with each other, okay? But just stick to a couple of sectors. Don't spread and go, I'm going to buy 10% in stocks, 10% in gold, 10% here, 10% here, 10% there, 10% there. I think you're spreading your risk around a little bit too much. Again, diversifying is good, just not too much. Okay, so that's number 2, and I want to get your comments below. So tip number 2, diversify, but not too much. Cool, good. Number 3, and I guess I should have maybe had this as number 1, but it's not really in order of priority. Have a plan. Tip number 3, have a plan. Do I need to say any more? Have a plan. Okay, that's why, and that sort of goes before, choosing the sectors to get into. Now, as stackers, we believe that precious metals will be having their big bull era, and it looks like they're going to be having their big bull era over this next 5-10 years. But let's be honest, if I had knew more about investing back in 2011 or 2010 when I first got into investing, I actually probably around about 2011, I should have been watching a couple of key ratios, and I should have had a plan to go, oh, look, precious metals are great, but it looks like the stock market is highly undervalued, or precious metals are highly overvalued to the stock market. Back then, the plan would have, and hindsight is 2020, it would have been a great plan to have gotten into the stock market and ridden that all the way, and then increased my precious metal stack just in the last few years. Okay, have a plan. Don't just go into something willy-nilly. Okay, have a plan to get in, have a plan to get out. So, for example, my plan at the moment, and your plan can change, of course, but my plan at the moment is, as I've been saying, I'm currently trying to ride, and I'm doing it all right, the crypto wave back into precious metals. So I've had silver since 2010, actually, and this is the thing about having a plan. I didn't sell out of my silver. Here's a big lesson. Oh, that's another tip. But maybe there'll be some bonus tips. I didn't sell out in 2011. I just rode the wave pretty much all the way down. I had to sell some silver here and there, buy a used car, this and that, bills and stuff when you need it. But have a plan, people. Okay, so my current investment plan for 2025 at least, or portion of 2025, is I'm moving a portion of my precious metals, not all of it, a portion, into the crypto, into Bitcoin and altcoins, when they start to really show that they're outperforming Bitcoin, for example. And I'm riding that wave. And I'm riding that wave currently. It's doing okay. It's doing not too badly. I've got to keep watching it. But the plan is ride the crypto wave. As soon as I see that crypto is incredibly overvalued versus precious metals, and I'm talking very overvalued, which it will get to at some point, usually in the mania phase of the crypto bubble, of the 4-year cycle. And that's where in the tail end of that 4-year cycle right now, coming into the last year of it, I will be swapping, that's the plan, to swap the crypto back for precious metals to then ride the longer wave of the 5 to 10 year wave of precious metals being in a bull era versus the stock market. And then in about 5-10 years, whenever precious metals look like they're highly overvalued versus the stock market, my plan is to get into the stock market, right? I'm not going to hold my precious metals forever, right? I'm not going to hold crypto forever. I'm not going to hold my precious metals forever. So have a plan, okay? Number 4, there's probably going to be like more than 5 tips because I think I'm up to 4 already. This is a big one, okay? When you've chosen the sector that you want to be in, when you've chosen your, this is based kind of sort of choosing your plan at the same time. If the thing that you're choosing is not outperforming the king, then just be in the king. That sounded weird, didn't it? Be in the king. If it's not outperforming the big one, then just be in the big one. So tip number 4, if it's not outperforming the big one, just be in the big one. To give you an example, if you're in precious metals. And again, well, we may have to be learning this lesson ourselves, stackers, quite possibly. Gold, gold, as far as the wider population is concerned, is king, and silver is second best at the moment. Now, we believe that silver is king over time. Currently, though, if you look at and I just saw this not too long ago, the historical gold to silver ratio going back to 1860 something, and I actually have it. Give me 1 second. Do I have the GSR? Did I save it? Give me 1 sec. Gold to silver ratio. I did. I'm going to share this with you. Okay, give me a sec. Here is the gold to silver ratio going back since 1869. Okay, now there would have been great times to get in and out, great times to be in gold, great times to be in silver. As this is going up, gold is outperforming silver. Now, again, this is on a very long time scale. It's much longer than someone's normal lifetime. Okay, so just take that into account. But since 1869, gold, it's been going up and down, but it has, look at that trend line. If I was drawing in a trend line, gold has been outperforming silver. Gold is probably still technically the king, okay? So for example, if you want to invest in precious metals and you want less risk, okay, just buy the king at the moment. Gold is king at the moment, okay? If your investment, say silver or platinum, is on a very clear, and I think with the gold to silver ratio, it's not as clear, okay, at the moment. But if it presents itself that gold becomes absolutely clear, the clear winner versus silver, I will consider moving all of my silver into gold and just riding that wave for as long as I think it will. I do believe silver will outperform Bitcoin in the longer term. But if the thing you're choosing isn't outperforming the big one in your sector, just go with the big one. So for example, if you're in the stock market, just buy the S&P 500. If your individual stock is not outperforming the S&P 500, why would you bother? Just go with the least risk thing within your sector. Okay, let's do another example. Let's say you want to get into uranium stocks or uranium sector for some reason. Okay, do you invest in a couple of individual uranium mining stocks? Or do you invest in, say, the URA, which is a basket of uranium mining stocks, or which is an index? Or do you invest just in the physical as such, the like Sprott asset management, type thing, like an Earnum, that kind of thing, right? You have to see whether the thing you want to invest in is outperforming the big boy in that sector. If it's not, then just go with the big one. It's less risk. Okay, so that's that. If it's not and again in crypto, for example, if your altcoin, if you get into Ethereum, but you can see on the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart that it's just a huge decline, it's got room to move down. Why would you not just be in Bitcoin? Just do that. Now, I am in a few alts. I do think alt season is coming, for example. Have been a few that have been outperforming Bitcoin just recently. But if, for example, I saw one of my favorite alts at the moment have a big turnover and it goes below a certain support level, and I think, gee, that's really going to continue to underperform Bitcoin, I'm getting back into Bitcoin. Okay? Why would you not? Okay? So make sure the thing that you're in is outperforming the big boy in your sector. So that's tip number 4. I guess. And this is a big one. This is tip number 5. I'm going to have more than 5 tips. And I'll just double check my thing here. Yes. Okay. Here's a big one. Go in with size. Okay. If you are confident with a particular investment sector and you're confident that the thing that you want to invest in is either the big boy or it's going to outperform the big boy. Once you have conviction with the thing that you're investing in, go in. Go in with size. Don't, again, spread your risk around, spread your things around 20 different cryptos. For example, if you're in cryptocurrencies, you should probably, and I'm a little bit guilty of this, I have a little bit more than I should, but if you're in crypto, you shouldn't be in more than, say, 5 crypto. Now I'm probably in, I think with size, I'm in about probably 6 or 7, maybe 9 at this stage. And I really need to pare that down. Okay, I really do. I've recently been going in with size with a couple of specific cryptos, a couple of altcoins, and I'm already seeing the results from that. When you have conviction, go in. Okay, it doesn't mean you put all your eggs in one basket, but don't spread yourself too thin. Okay, have conviction, go in with size. It's the size that is going to increase your wealth over time, rather than being in 20 different cryptos, $1,000 in each one. Find 1 or 2, maybe 3 that you really have a high conviction on, and just go into those. I know people who are basically in just 1. And there's Bitcoin maxis, and they're very, it's a valid point. Okay, Bitcoin's the big boy, and they're just all in Bitcoin. They don't even worry about it, but they've gone in with size. Okay, and that's what makes the big difference. So tip number 5, I guess it is go in with size once you have high conviction in the thing that you want to invest in. I did the same with silver. I inherited some money when my grandma passed away. Silver, man. I had high conviction in it. I still have high conviction in it. Again, just my current plan is to increase my stack with the crypto wave currently. So that's, I guess, tip number 5. Get your top tips in. And I think probably the last one, and this is probably the bonus one, I think is, and this is the big one, and many of you know this, but you really need a reminder, because I need to remind myself, is watch your emotions. We've talked about it before. Watch your emotions as an investor. Again, not a trader, as an investor. If when the time comes, and I've shared this story before, I'll quickly share it again. I invested in the stock market for the first time many, many years ago. I invested in an oil exploration company. Okay, and it was the only stock that I invested in too. So I went in with size. So I ticked that box. I ticked that I wanted to get into oil, that I don't remember why. It was a tip from someone. And I went in with size, and I went in with this individual company. Now, did I break my rule? I didn't have the rules back then. Did I break the don't invest in something if it's not outperforming the big boys? It was actually outperforming the ASX 200 at the time. And it had a huge rise. They didn't even discover oil, but some good news came out, okay? And the stock in one day jumped, for stocks, jumped a decent amount. And I remember being in a parking lot, and I was coming out of Woolies or Coles or something like that, and I was with my partner, and I checked my thing, and my investment had gone up and I hadn't had a small amount, it had gone up to like $17,000. It was worth $17,000. And back then, and I only put like a smaller amount in. I'm like, this stuff, the news came out, it's $17,000. My partner had to drive me home. She's like, you're not, you get in the passenger seat, mate. I was in this kind of euphoric state. I was like, I can't believe I've got $17,000. I'm checking the news. I'm talking to people on the thing, on the chat on Hot Copper, which was, we're chatting in the thing and all that. I was like, oh, it's up to $17,000. Like, this is great. I'm a genius, right? I was in euphoria mode. What happened really not long after that? Boop, 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 boop. Now, it did eventually go back up again. I actually made some profits on that, I'm pretty sure I did. But I wasn't watching my emotions. When you start to get really euphoric about your precious metals, when you are showing your friends, telling your friends all about how you made, you've doubled your investment, you've tripled your investment, blah, blah, blah. When you are, and this is a big one, and I've done this, when you are, if you have a partner, when you're showing your partner every day, look what it's gained today, and you're feeling like the biggest, like the king in town, right? That might be your signal to go, ooh, are we at a top right now? A lot of the times that is the case. So you really got to manage your emotions and understand that when you're feeling euphoric about it, that could be the time to get out, okay? I think that's probably it, my top 5, top 6. I want to get your top tips as well. Was there anything that I missed? Let's see, people. I'm going to read your comments. Then we'll do gold, silver, Platinum, gold, silver, Bitcoin, probably platinum analysis as well. Oh, Gerald Draper says, I like this. Investing tips, get rid of bad debt. That's a great point. Good, get rid of bad debt, number one. Great. Okay, before anything else, get rid of bad debt. I like that idea. I like that. Oh, here's another tip. Here's another one. Don't do it. Don't use credit cards. Don't borrow to invest. If you're mega rich and you can afford it, okay, sure, no problem. Many people do borrow to invest. If you're, just a nobody like me, like you and me, don't do that. Okay, don't use credit cards to buy silver, for example. Don't use, well, you're not trading, but preferably don't use leverage. Okay, it's too hard. I've learned my lessons there. Okay. So that's another great tip from Gerald Draper. Get rid of bad debt first. Okay. Black Cole says, GMS, great to see you. Neil Hahn is here. Fantastic. Osmium Twins activated. Let's see. Gerald Draper says, altcoins, going to toss a smidge into crypto from silver bars. Okay. So you're going to toss a smidge into altcoins. So you're going to sell a bit of silver, buy a few altcoins. That's what I'm doing. Neil says, silver is fractional gold. Yeah, that's a good point. It is. I'll take second best over my ex. Yes, great. Another investing tip. Okay, great one. And it's a very, that's a quote, isn't it? I think that's a quote from Wall Street, the movie. I think it is, buy when there's blood in the streets. So you do have to be somewhat of a contrarian. Yes, that's another tip. You have to be somewhat of a contrarian to what the herd is doing. So basically you're going against the herd. So when every man and his dog, you've got to really listen out in your social circle. If your friends and family are starting to really ask you about crypto, or starting to ask you about gold and silver, or they're calling you and begging you for your advice on getting into precious metals or whatever it is that you're in, or particularly when, what is it they say? It used to be the shoe shine boy. When the shoe shine boy was giving stock investing tips, then that was the time to get out. But the modern version of that is and I'm not saying anything about any particular sector or business or whatever, but if your hairdresser, if your barber, your hairdresser, your whatever is starting to talk to you about precious metals or crypto, if you're in crypto, if you're riding that wave, that's the time where you go, oh, this has really seeped into the absolute mainstream when, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker is talking about it. That's your contrarian time to go, oh, I think it's time to rotate into something else. Okay. So that's a great one. And buy when there's blood in the streets. So, for example, during March of 2020, hey, wouldn't it have been a great time? Buy when there's blood in the streets. Okay, big black swan events had a big dip in everything. Okay, a lot of smart people bought up a whole bunch of precious metals, stocks, all that kind of stuff. Okay. For example, when the time comes, and it will, that the stock market has, a big crash, 20, 30, probably 50% over a 12 to 24 month period, okay? When everyone else is saying the stock market's dead. Stock market is dead. Guys, gold is the place to be. Why would you invest in the stock market? That's mental. That's when you go, I think the bottom is in for the stock market, and then you rotate in. So yes, buy when there's blood in the streets, when the vast majority of people are negative on a particular thing, a particular investment asset. Right at the moment, it's even 1-2 years ago, it was real estate. So, in Australia, it's been real estate. That'll change. Mark Florida says, and have a general, thank you, great, have an exit strategy. So that's what I meant by have a plan. Yes, have a plan to get in, have a plan to get out. Increase percentage or time, tax purposes, loss also for tax purposes, etc. Plus, plus stack antacids. Yes, here's the thing though. If you are an investor and not a trader, you probably don't need antacids. I could have been classed myself as a trader So, and even more recently as well in the crypto world, I'm looking for the great meme coins and this, and you'll hit one, but then you'll buy another one and it goes down. So I'm probably down a little bit in meme coin stuff at the moment. I've just got to really tell myself, no, just get the high conviction stuff that is, over the slightly longer term. Oh no, Joe, you're going to triple your money in 6 to 9 months instead of getting a 100 times bagger in 24 hours. Oh no, right? You got to have that mentality. Like, really think about it. It's like, well, that's gambling and getting into something like a really high conviction altcoin, for example. I'll give you a tip, for example. There's something called the graph. If you know GRT, the graph, that's one that's looking pretty well, looking good at the moment. I've got high conviction in that at the moment from a technical perspective, and I've gone in with size in that. So that's the one I'm going to be holding for a while. And gee, if it doesn't do 10 times, oh well. Hey, if it only does 5 times, if it goes from 20 US cents to $1, gee damn. Oh, I've only 5 times, right? Be an investor, not a trader. Yes, and have a general exit strategy. Late today. Morning, Joe. Morning, Jason. GMS mainly listening while busy with chores. It's a great way. Long-form podcasts are a great way to get stuff done. Let's see. Lance, latest trend is debt recycling. Not going to be great to see what happens if the market collapses and people are leveraged against their property. Yeah. Leverage. No. There we go. And this is part of watch your emotions. Debt is Great says, be patient and wait for good entries. Time is your friend with investing. And again, as an investor, you've got a longer term time frame. You are not a trader who should be getting in and out of things on a daily or even weekly or even monthly basis. We're talking about multiple months, okay, as an investor. As an investor, again, you shouldn't be trading more than a couple of times a year, really. Yeah. And the Don says GMS. So that is my top 6 investing tips. Thanks for posting yours as well. And I do agree with those. I guess we're going to get straight into the usual precious metals price analysis and Bitcoin as well. We're doing that as in the rotation at the moment, and also get your chart requests in right now. I will take a look at something if I have time. Let's do gold, silver, platinum, and Bitcoin analysis right now. All right, people, and I will read out your other comments later on. I'm going to share the screen. Hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. We are looking at gold, $2,650 US using the tradingview.com website. This is the 4-hour time frame. I'll go to the daily. So here we are. We have been making a play for, and I did say it was, potential that we make a play for the mother of all trend lines right here. This trend line here goes all the way back. I won't show you. It goes all the way back to 1980, then through the peak of 2011, and recently we hit it. Once we hit the mother of all trend lines, I said, gold is looking peaky. We haven't peaked necessarily, but it's looking peaky from here. We could shoot up to maybe 3,000 psychological value, but anywhere between the mother of all trend lines and higher prices, we're looking peaky. It certainly seems like, to me, we've topped out here at $2,790 US. Why? We broke back below the mother of all trend lines, and we're still below the mother of all trend lines, okay? Of course, because gold and assets go up and they go down, we have had a rise. I was suggesting a rally was coming. It was looking like it was bottoming out, particularly when I showed you the 4-hour, I think it was this one, yeah, the 4-hour here. We had like an inverted head and shoulders type thing happening there. I was suggesting higher prices could be coming, but watch out for a couple of key levels. The first key level we actually smashed through, which is a positive, okay? It was this $2,600 US mark, 2,605 technically. I needed it to clear here for more confidence. So we have a bit more confidence, but the major one is still here at the mother of all trend lines right there. You need to clear over there and remain over that for a decent period of time to say, oh, okay, maybe that short-term retrace in gold has already happened, and we've, hey, gee, it's only it's only a 9% retrace. Okay, all right, maybe it's just onwards and upwards from here. But we have to clear that mother of all trend lines, hold it, and then move up. Until we do that, I am still 80% sure that lower prices are coming for gold. That's just where I am, because again, things go down, but they also go up and they can tick over. Okay. Also, you'll have to be aware of the following. Finding resistance here and coming back down here. You do that. What does that set up? What does that look like, people? I think you can see it. And let me show you. If that happens, shoulder, head, shoulder. If that plays out, and if this starts breaking below, if it does this, or there's infinite scenarios that can happen. I'm just telling you, if it does this, it finds resistance at the mother of all trend lines, comes back down to the 2,605 level and breaks it. That is a confirmed head and shoulders pattern. You will be coming down, okay? And generally the move, it's not a hard and fast rule, okay? But generally the move is the distance between the neckline and the peak right there. So I don't remember which neckline it is, whether it's the shortest one or the longest one. But if we take it from the shortest one, that's a 7%. So then you take it from here, and that's down to like $2,430. If you were to take it from this neckline, for example, then that's a 10% move, and you take it 10% from here, that's down to like your $2,300 level, which is pretty close to the best buy zone of $2,250 to $2,150. So that's the big one you've got to watch out for, the head and shoulders pattern. That's why you want, as I said, you need it to, you really need it to crack above the mother of all trend lines and bounce off. You need it to do this, okay? And bounce off there. That's looking great for gold, okay? Until we do that, no, 80% sure we see lower prices from here. Get it? Got it? Good. As Chris Phipps just quoted me on. Right, so that's it. Positive would be, again, bouncing off here. Okay, can I call that? Is that also a head and shoulders if we drop from here? Yeah, that's possible. Left shoulder, right shoulder, even though we don't come to match it, that's potential. But just what you would want to see is the fake out. You want to see that happen very, very quickly, please. Okay, and that would invalidate it, and then we'll be looking, higher prices. Cool. That is gold, and I've given you my lower targets that I'm currently confident we do see. Bare minimum 2,500 to 2,450, and I'm more likely to say that we head down to the best buy zone 2,250 to 2,150. Okay, could bounce anywhere in there, but I do think 80% lower prices than there are coming soon. Yep. So that's gold. Let's take a look at silver. $30.85 US cents per silver ounce. And it has so far done what I thought it would. We just did spike up a little bit more. I did think it would find resistance at 31, but it has found, it did do a bit of a fake out. We broke above 31, and then we're back below. So that's what the final hurdle. It's a big line in the sand for me. I won't say 100% lower prices coming. I'm still 80% sure. What would negate it would be, you wouldn't want to dip any lower than, it's kind of there. It's preferable where we are right now, but I'll give you here at $30.20. Okay, I'll give you that. If you find that and then we bounce, okay, lovely fake out, and that would set up a nice move to break back above $32.50. You start closing weeks and months above $32.50. It's bang on again. Okay, for moving higher to potential, 35 plus $37 to $40 in 2024. Okay, we're not there at the moment. We have not cleared $32.50. So I'm not saying that's coming. I'm more likely. I'm on the 80% chance that we see lower prices from here. Okay, I'm more likely to think that this is going to occur. That's the most likely path that it's going to take. Up and down a bit, but I think we head down to probably 28 US dollars, the top end of the best buy zone. Would you be a buyer there at the top end of the best buy zone at 28? Post a comment below. Are you just dollar cost averaging, which is probably the best way to do it anyway? Just average your price in as it goes down, which I think it will continue to do. Would I be happy to be wrong and then it shoots to the moon from here? Absolutely. Even though I'm getting taking a portion out and putting it into crypto, I'm watching the crypto to silver ratio. If it starts to tick over and it looks much more in silver's favor again, I'm getting back into silver. Okay, you've got to read the message of the market. But yes, the absolute confirmation is here at $29.80. You break that. It was support. I did say watch out for this as a line in the sand. It did act as support. So far, not above, didn't stay above 31. More likely we come down to here. You break to $29.80. Absolutely, definitely coming to $28 at least. On the weekly time frame, on the relative strength index, we are, even though we've had this rally this week, we are still trending downish on the relative strength index. So there's room to move. There's definitely room to move on gold, and there's room to move down on silver as well. So that's what I'll leave it as at the moment. Still 80% sure we see lower prices from here. Happy to be wrong. That's silver. This is platinum. Platinum on the daily, 961 US dollars. We are back into the depressed zone for platinum. We found very good bottom here, which has not played out. It did not go into the best buy zone, but we are back into the depressed zone for me, which is between this thick yellow line and this uptrend line right here. While we're in here, I'm depressed for platinum. I just have to be. Okay, we get in here, I'm cautiously excited. We get above here, I'm excited for platinum. Okay, we're technically depressed. I need to see once again 945 US dollars hold. Do I just put a new one in? No, horizontal line. There you are, right there. 944, 945. That needs to hold. Okay, we had a flirt with the cautiously excited zone. Okay, sure. That needs to hold and do something like that. Okay, then I'll be like, yeah, this is interesting for platinum. It would probably mean that gold and silver are having their further movements up as well. What is not good is doing that. That would really set up, that's going to get broken, right? That would come down and you'd be coming down to your best buy zone of between 900 to 750 US dollars. We're not there yet. We may not get there. But if I think 80% chance we see lower prices in gold and silver, I have to say 80% chance we see lower prices in platinum because it tends to follow. Relative strength index, if I can see right there. Yeah, it is. That's finding support there on the daily. On the weekly time frame, it's actually finding support within that range. Okay, so we haven't broken. When we break below here at about 44.5 on the relative strength index on the weekly time frame, you tick over down into here, probably further down we go, but it is remaining as decent support. Okay, that's the only positive I would say for platinum at the moment. It's above a nice little support area on the relative strength index. Yeah, so what else do you need to know? Daily. Yep, that's it. I won't get excited for platinum until we break this trend line here, and that's at around about 1,000 US dollars right now. Break 1,000 US dollars, I'll start getting excited for platinum. I ain't there right now. Bias is to the downside. That's gold, silver, platinum. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. I am adding it to my rotation of things that I do currently that I look at on the daily because it's the flavor of the flavor of the year at the moment. Flavor of the month. We just posted a new all-time high. Just overnight, was it? Yes, just overnight. We posted $94,942. All right, 95K in Bitcoin. We are extremely overvalued on the daily time frame. You can spend a decent amount of time in that area though. So it can still pump upwards, and you can actually still, with the relative strength index, you can still see this sort of tick over, but the price can still be creeping up. But it just means that the steam is running out for a period of time. So it looks like to me that the steam is starting to run out on Bitcoin. We will find a resistance somewhere. I feel like it'll be here at around about your $100,000 psychological value. Pretty obvious, big psychological value. People might front run it a little bit, selling at, your 97s, your 98s, roughly. What you would want to see. This is the Bitstamp price, by the way. Let me show you this macro view of this one here. Let me get rid of that. For example, let me show you this, okay? You have a very clear, this goes all the way back to 2011. This is a parallel channel. You do it by drawing in the trend line here, and then this matches it exactly, okay? So it's the exact same angle, okay? So it's parallel, duh. And then you find the most likely uptrend line, and that is the most likely uptrend line, and it's been respecting it very clearly. And for quite some time since, July, August of 2022, for the first time since 2013, it broke below this parallel channel, the bottom end here, and it has remained below it and has remained as pretty much resistance. It's had a little couple of spikes, but right there's a resistance line. It is coming towards that again, and that's at around about, what do you know, the $100,000 psychological value. That's why I think it will be an area of resistance. If it's not what you would want to see, if it starts heading back eventually convincingly into this parallel channel, it's looking very good for Bitcoin over the next, again, longer term, 6 to 9 months. You start doing something like this and then finding support, that's very, very good. That says, a big pump could be coming, okay? But I'm fine. I'm looking and seeing resistance at around about your 100,000. Many people are probably saying that. It could be short-term resistance, but we will have a pullback at some point, because in the last month or so, it's been a crazy, crazy ride with Bitcoin. I'm currently on that ride, trying to increase my precious metals stack. So watch out for resistance around about your 100,000. Might be short-term, but you will find some, I think. That's Bitcoin, gold, silver, platinum. Do I have a chart request? Maybe I have time, maybe I don't. We'll get some more comments out of the way. Chris Phipps says, I had been slowly accumulating Bitcoin for the past couple of years. Oh, nice. I just sold about 15% of my BTC at the all-time high and bought more gold and silver. Fantastic. Well done. Good on you, Chris. And the thing is, you're following your plan, and that's a great plan. Here's another tip, okay? Here's another tip, people. Stick to your guns. And it's the same thing. It's have the plan and stick to it, okay? I am guilty of the following, of listening and looking at too many other people's opinions, and they're too widely varied as well. It's saying, don't be in Bitcoin, be in this one. It's like, no, don't be in that one, be in that one. Don't be in this, be in that. Bitcoin's going to go to $500,000. No, Bitcoin's going to top out at $140,000. Stick to your plan. Do not get analysis paralysis. I'm very guilty of analysis paralysis. Where I read everyone's things, they go, I don't know, right? Stick to your plan. If your plan is sell 15% at a new all-time high and put more into precious metals, that's a great plan, Chris, and good on you for sticking to your plan, okay? Have your plan and stick to it. Don't follow too many people, okay? Have your plan and have high conviction in your plan. Good stuff. Jason says, I agree. Don't trade on day trading platforms. You really need to know what you are doing. Learnt the hard way. Boom, 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 boom. What has two thumbs and has experienced the same thing? This guy, right? Lance. Great question. Hey, Joe, how do you rate your membership for North Star bad charts? I love Patrick's way of thinking, and I think Black Friday might be pulling the trigger if they do something. Do it. You should be. If you have the ability to, I would be subscribing to North Star bad charts. I subscribe to them. I started subscribing to them last year because the years of my previous looking at technical analysis and stuff, and I would see their Twitter posts, and I'm like, that really measures up with a lot with I was thinking as well. And then last year they had their Black Friday sale, and I got in, and then lo and behold, we've tracked really well together. Now, I've been incorporating some of their stuff into this as well, into stuff we're talking about, capital rotation, gold bull era, and all that kind of stuff as well. And that's getting sort of knowledge from them as well. So I'm actually you're imbibing that through me. But Lance, I would highly recommend, subscribing to them. It's pretty cheap for the year, particularly with the Black Friday thing, and then you only pay that every single year as well. They don't up you the next year. You just pay that same amount, and it's like $210. I paid $210, and it's US dollars. $210 for the entire year. It's not a month. It's actually very cheap and well worth the money, I think. So yes, I do recommend them. North Star Bad Charts, they're called. Nakas O'Reilly says, with Christmas coming up, some liquidation of BTC may happen. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's true. People have are overexposed, and they have Christmas presents to buy. Yeah. Don't be overexposed. That's another tip, I guess. Don't be overexposed. Woof woof. Okay, woof woof. Fair enough. What's the woof woof for? Hit the like button, people. Yes, hit the like button. That helps with the algorithm. I think that's going to be it, people. Yeah, no chart request. That is completely fine. Good. I like it. Less for me to do. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been Good Morning Stackers for Thursday, the 21st of November, 2024. Make sure you hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. 834 subscribers. How many will it be tomorrow? We're rocketing to 1,000 subscribers. I will do another silver giveaway when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and you have to be a subscriber to even have a chance. So you know the right thing to do, people. Join the winning team. Ladies and gentlemen, please grab your tasty beverages, because we're going to dance it out. This has been
Good Morning Stack.
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine.
Good Morning Stack.
You like to dance too.
Podcast time.
Grab it.
Grab a tasty beverage. Let's get in the groove.
Let's do the
Synchronized slurp. Now
in
we're
3,
on the move.
2, 1. Slurp it, people.
Good Morning Stack.
Oh yeah, we're feeling
Ooh, yeah. Have a great day. Stay safe. Stay informed. Keep stacking. Catch you later.